Hey, Zaylee.
Hi, JV. How are you doing today?
Good. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
You're joining us for our third week in a row during Women's History Month. I'm so excited.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome, everyone. This is the weekly wrap up, and it is Friday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Well, this is the weekly wrap up. Zaylee and I cover a little bit of what's happened this week, some things that you might not have known about that might have been going on either in district or in the city council. But first, Zaylee is joining us. Zaylee is daughter of DJ Cons and a growing DJ in her own right. Zaylee, what are we listening to today?
So right now I found this on Spotify. It's Mambo Rhapsody by DJ Hendrix. It has a very Latin, calming feel to it. That's very much what I feel when I watch the weekly wrap up. Like, okay, the week's done, can relax and just have the weekend to breathe. So
we're centering on that. I love that. Well, thank you so much for giving us some weekend inspiration, Zaylee.
Anytime.
So I've got a few things to mention for our legislative wrap up, and then we have some community announcements. This week, I think we mentioned it last week, but Wednesday was the annual bison donation. And so this is where, it's for 3 years, inspired by our council, land acknowledgement, Parks and Recreation adopted their land acknowledgement, but have really been actionizing it. So this was the first thing that they did. They turned what was a bison auction into a bison donation. And so about 30 plus bison were donated to Native tribes throughout the country who are reestablishing their herds on their tribal lands. And so huge thanks to Denver Parks and Recreation, the American Indian Commission, Denver American Indian Academy, and so many folks making it a really special morning. And it's also my favorite time of year because it's done right around March powwow time. So that starts today at the Denver Coliseum and it goes all the way through the weekend. And, our household, we know where we're going to be when it comes to March powwow time. So really looking forward to this beautiful, beautiful Denver tradition. Legislatively, we were really excited that the West Area Plan came through first reading on Monday. We will have the public hearing and our final vote on Monday, March 28th. So coming up, and really excited to be able to talk to my colleagues about it, hear what they have to say, hear what the public has to say, and then hopefully it's passage and we can actually start working all of the things that it talks about. So, and then finally, I got my ballot this week. Ballots are out. So it is voting time. And you can vote anytime before 7 p.m. on Tuesday, April 4th, which is election day. You can also register to vote anytime before Tuesday, April 4th. So if you are over 18, you are a citizen, and you are a resident of Colorado and Denver is your sole legal residence, you can still register to vote. And it could not be more important right now. We are electing a mayor. Seats are up for election. We have a couple things on the ballot. Like every election is important, but this one really determines our local leadership for the next 4 to 8 to 12 years. So time to really start paying attention. All right, we've got a couple announcements. So, Zaylee, we wanted you on the weekly wrap up for Women's History Month. You make history for the next generation. And I've just so loved hearing some of the influential women you honor. This week, U.S. Representative Pat Schroeder recently passed away. And, when I was your age, she was who I saw in office. Are you familiar with who she is, Zaylee?
No, I'm not.
That's okay. So she represented us in Congress. She was our House representative for Denver from 1973, so before I was even born, till 1977, and I was in college by that time. So she was the first woman elected to Congress, and then Diana DeGette was elected right after her. So I've only known women in our elected House of Representatives. She and President Biden worked together when he was in Congress to pass the 1994 Violence Against Women Act, which really expanded tools to combat domestic violence. There are just so many influential women in Colorado, and District 3 are making history. And I want to give a shout out. We have artists like Danielle Seawalker, neighborhood leaders like Jean Granville. There's so many to list in our district. And it really makes me think of a lot of our leadership who are really putting community first. Damaris from Cultura Craft Chocolate, Mariana from Revision, Chris Rollerson from Sun Valley Youth Center. We have just such amazing folks. Renee Fajardo, who is working in Lama Lincoln Park at MSU. So I am just honored to be surrounded by women. Daily, I think you are surrounded by strong and powerful women, and I think we are the legacy that our grandparents always wanted for us. So, any women you've mentioned your mom? My mom is who I think of first too. Any women that you think of when you think about who you admire, who's made history from across the board?
Yeah, I do say, like I'm surrounded by very strong women. They've made me who I am today, and there's such a long list. Like my mom, she's the first one that comes to mind, but of course I think you, Julie Gonzalez. I think of her. She's you guys are both very strong women in the council, and you put your best foot forward, and you guys just go for what you want. And so I've always whenever my dad talks about you guys, or I get to do the weekly wrap up with you, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Jamie. It's like meeting a hero, kind of. You're like, okay.
Oh my gosh. You impressed me so much, Zaylee. So I'm just thrilled that we get to do this and we've gotten to meet and use this time to share with the city kind of who you are as well. So thank you so much, Zaylee.
Of course, thank you.
So one thing that we want to get some community feedback on in Council District 3 is about the vision for Lama Lincoln Park. So the park is undergoing a master planning time right now, and there's a survey that we're sharing, and it's just focused on this one park, not the entire neighborhood. And Denver Parks and Rec really wants to know how the neighborhood uses the park. So this helps us try to figure out what to improve, how to change things. So it's a master plan. What other ways would you like to use the park? What's the best vision for that space?
And then why is taking that survey so important for the park and the building of that?
Yeah. So this is the best time to have your voice heard. So while these projects get developed, your voice can really start to impact how the next generation uses this park, how we utilize what is a District 3 landmark. That park is part of the historic cultural district that we passed in this neighborhood 2 years ago or a year ago. So there's, I think, a lot of improvement that can be made. We've always got to be thinking about what are modern ways that people use the park. When I walk through Lama, I see kids in the little mini skate park. Should that be expanded? There's an amphitheater there. I want to see that activated. The pool will be back soon because it's under repair. So what else do we want to see in a park, and making sure that it is reflecting who Lama Lincoln Park neighborhood really is and how they want to use it?
Perfect. Wonderful.
Yes. Okay, so we're right in the middle of Youth on Record's Music Matters campaign. And if you're not familiar with Youth on Record, they have an education, music, and community programming, and they are designed to help young people who are really rooted in music and their own voice really find, I think, power for that and application for that. So really trying to help young people thrive through music.
That sounds awesome. And what are they doing for their campaign to expand that?
Perfect. So they're collecting everything $1 and up, right? So every dollar makes a difference. And local artists, venues, businesses, restaurants, coffee shops, they're all kind of coming together to make a difference for the whole month of March. So you buy something at a participating restaurant, a little bit of that goes back to Youth on Record. And so all of that contribution portion goes back to Youth on Record. We'll add some of the information below. And then, of course, you can always get to the nonprofit directly itself. And they are in Lama Lincoln Park. They're right in the heart of the Mariposa area.
All right, wonderful.
I know. So that's all we've got. Zaylee, do you have plans this weekend?
Might go check out the March Powwow. My family, we always go, so hopefully we go this weekend. And then besides that, I think we're just gonna have a relaxing weekend. What about yourself, Jamie?
This is the time to do it. I won't lie. I'm ready for spring. I'm ready for some sunshine and some warmer days. So we sprung forward a little bit this week, so which has actually been a little took me a little getting used to and my energy levels this week. But I'm ready. Powwow and the Bison Exchange got me all energized up. So I'm ready for that this weekend. So looking forward to it. Right on. Well, thank you for joining us, Zaylee,
Of course, thank you for having me, like always, Jamie.
and have a good weekend, everyone.